to welcome you to the Pantheon event. I'm your host, Ray, and today we're looking at Quantumania, Ant-Man and Wasp. This movie I just saw in theaters not too long ago. It was okay. It was good. Okay, you know what? No, this is a zero spoiler movie. The movie is really, really well done. I just think it's long. I think the quantum realm is fantastic. I think it's a visual spectacle. I mean, it's not Avatar, and I'm not compared to the Avatar, but to show that there's a subatomic level within the subatomic level, and to see it and to tie in with everything you've seen beforehand is great. When we get to Kang, which is a bit of a trek, I think we're like an hour in before you actually meet Kang in this movie. The character of Kang is introduced in the Loki series in the final episode, and he was a conqueror, and you saw like a visual graphic of him conquering the world, and then why he is in the quantum realm as a result of that. So the storyline of from the Loki series ties in with what you're seeing here, and I knew that right away. And so I knew something will have to come out of this, with the Kang dynasty, and it makes sense now. And there are two. There's a mid-credit scene and there's a final credit scene, and both contributed to my understanding of that. And I think and as far as endings are going, I say they're worth watching because it sets up okay, so with this movie, whatever faults you may have with this film, I think Peyton Reed, who directed all three Ant-Man movies, had to make sure, because this is the first Phase 5 movie, and I'm not saying that I know what's going on, because obviously I don't, but this has to set up a lot of little check marks for what's coming down the line in Phase 5. Like a lot of things happen, and this sets the breadcrumbs. So to look back at this now, not knowing, like a lot of things when you watch an MCU movie, you watch a movie, you like it, and then when you go further into the years of the phases, and then you think back, oh yeah, that connects with what he said here, or that, so there are breadcrumbs and seeds placed strategically that is going to will be illuminating down the road. Now, I knew nothing about Kang going into this. I never read the comic books with the Fantastic Four or the Avengers comic books, so I knew nothing going into the character other than seeing him in the Loki series and thinking that Jonathan Majors was amazing comedic actor, or seeing his body of work since doing Loki to doing this movie. He's all over the place, and he's just an amazing thespian actor. And Kang, his performance as Kang is the best thing about this movie. Like his performance, I don't think there's a critic out there who will say his role was bad. It's not. I mean, he's a threat, but Paul Rudd is a humbling, like fun. He's the kind of guy that you just love to hang out with. Like, he's a really cool kind of guy. He's laid back. He has this aura about him that's just, he's a good man. He's a good father. He wants to be a good father. He has some bad breaks, and then you kind of relate to him as the everyday kind of guy. But now he's the everyday guy dealing with one of the most dangerous villains in MCU cinematic history, like ever. He's up there with Thanos, and rightfully so. And his threat level is beyond is if not more so than Thanos, because he can wipe everything out, literally. So his backstory is interesting. I'm not gonna get into that because if you watch the film, they'll go into that. But what he can do, what his quest is, what he wants to conquer, is what makes this movie such a threat. And his demeanor is what sells you. And then he knows that out of all the Avengers that he's had to face in whatever world he's faced, Ant-Man is probably the least threatening character that he could ever go up against, and it's Ant-Man who has to stop him. It's a very interesting way to approach this character because it now puts the Ant-Man character and the Ant-Man up there. As much as the only thing that I was missing was Louise, Michael Pena's character. I think Michael Douglas did an amazing job being the comedic relief for this film. And when you saw like a character like a Broccoli, or like what is that, or what is, like seeing it through his lens really is, talks to us, the viewer, and acknowledges that, okay, wow, what's going on here? So my brain's all over because I'm thinking about the movie as I'm talking to you too. The movie itself is good. 20 minutes too long. The story between Janet or Michelle Pfeiffer's character and Kang, Nathaniel's character. Oh, I don't think they even tell you what his real name is, but let's say Kang's character and Janet's character, their connection. She doesn't want them to go anywhere near it. And the reveal of that journey is well earned. You have to realize that it's not power, it's technology. Similar to like we look at Asgardians, they're aliens, but it's their technology that makes them so powerful. It's not because they're real gods. It's just their advanced civilization. And like with Doctor Strange, science and magic are not too dissimilar. It's just that we're looking at it from different lens. We see magic as we see it, but there is a science behind it. There's a logic behind it, and there's a history and tradition behind certain things, which is considered like a not religious, but like a science. You know, so Kang's technology is outside of time. It's like the year 4000, something like that. So he's a traveler from outside of time, and the quantum realm is in a place that's no longer in time. And so when they established the concepts, and if you watch the Loki series, which again is a lot to digest, it comes more into focus, and I like that. In the actual comic books, Kang has multiple dimensions of himself. There's a younger version of himself. There's an older version of himself, both of which are in conflict with each other. The Kang Dynasty, which will be revealed to us coming up in Phase 5, will probably indicate to us in the Young Avengers probability of having the Young Avengers characters, because we have a young Hawkeye, and because we have Cassie, and because we're introduced to an older Black Captain America who has a grandson, seats that are now plugged in, we're going to get a very robust movie. Now, we don't see the pictures right now, but we know all the little seeds are germinated into seeing what Phase 5 brings down the road. When you watch Phase 5 or Phase 6 and gets to ultimately the Avengers movie, which comes down the line, or the Kang Dynasty, which is way down the line, it's going to open your mind, because even watching Loki season 1, all these little tidbit storylines, like in the Endgame storyline, everything comes together at the end. And I believe that Feige has a plan. And I believe that after seeing what Endgame did and how they really showed how Star Wars, though I love Star Wars, don't get me wrong, how the Rise of Skywalker didn't really live up to a 30-year hype. Endgame, what they did in 8 to 11 years, did an amazing job of summarizing all those things. And with that, you're going to get an amazing Phase 5, I believe. It may not be as great or as good as or at the level of maybe say Infinity War, but it's all going to come together because I know there's a plan, and I look forward towards that. And what James Gunn does for DC, I hope DC does the same thing too. I mean, it's for us. We win either way. We, the viewers, will win if the storytelling is great and if the seeds of what they're planning to do really could get into fruition. Like it really does become what they want us to do. And DC, my God, I hope you learn from your mistakes and make it really happen, because as a fan, that's all I want. And as you, as an audience who watches this stuff, who like Aquaman and Flash and who love Infinity War, I mean, we win, and we'll go see your work. So with that, I'm your host, Ray, and we'll see you next week. Take care.